What's up? Another goddamn episode. I love talking to people, man. And this is like the best way to talk to people, okay? To reach out to people. So, what we're going to talk about today is your role as a team member. See, a lot of guys don't understand life is a team game. You got to be able to play within a team game. And a lot of young guys, they want to be the CEO, the general manager, the head coach, and the star player all in one go. And they expect people just to come in and fill in the role. And what you don't understand is you're not ready for the fucking top positions yet. If you're an 18, 19-year-old dude, you're not ready to be the guy. You're just not. Even at 30, you're not ready to be the guy. You got to understand the hierarchy of man. And this is why it's so important to work with other men, because you figure out how to fit into a role. And this is one of the things I've been loving about playing, not playing, but in my electrician growth in my journey. It's like I'm back like an athlete again. Like I'm back being within a team where I got to fill in roles for other guys. And see, one of the things I kind of realized in my master technician, what he's been kind of explaining to me is, he's like, I know what you're doing doesn't feel like you're doing a lot, but you actually have a very valuable role within our team because we're a 4-man crew. He's like, I got 50 years of experience. The other guy has 5 years of experience, and the other guy got about 20, 30. So your role is to be able to make our job easier so we're more productive. And by us being more productive, we can then teach you other things and we're not so preoccupied with the minor things like getting rebounds, making the right pass, et cetera, being the practice guy. And that's what you get to understand as a man. And this is why sports are so critical to play when you're a young guy. Because it teaches you how to operate in a team and for you to realize you're not solo and you can't do it all solo. You have to understand how to play within a role. And when you learn how to play within a role, you then are able to coach other people in how to play into different roles. So, like, while we were working on this one job, the guy was basically having me do, like, the preliminary work. Like, cut this pipe, go pick this up for me, go get this, go find this. Here, you screw these in, put this in. And he's, like, basically directing the whole show. He's saying, look, you're so much more valuable to me as opposed to the guy who has 4 years and the guy who has 20 years. Because they're have an ego. They don't want to do the grunt work or the preliminary work to be able to set up to make my job easier. So if you weren't here, I would have to be doing everything that you're doing. I would have to be doing it, and it will take away from my ability to be able to do the main job, which is oversee the facility of the grandmaster of the plan. That's why, like, LeBron is a very funny character because he wants to be the general manager, the CEO, the team owner while being the star player. It doesn't work that way. And that's why a lot of his teams are failing. And the only reason his teams don't fail as much is because he's able to, like, pretty much finagle the league to get what he wants out of it, which is a very bad thing. It's not very good leadership. See, the part of being a good leadership is understanding your role. See, and that's the thing about a team aspect. You have to be egoless, man, to operate as a man. You have to get rid of the ego. The ego is going to crush you. Your ego will make you think you're too good to do a job and think that you're supposed to be in a certain place. And what you have to learn how to do, how to dissolve the ego, is by simply taking reality as it is and understanding, even though I might be the star player, I still need my role players to carry that other 60%. So even though I'm carrying 40% of the load on a team, there's still 60% that needs to be taken care of. It doesn't matter if you're the MVP. What good does being the MVP of a shitty team do for you? Nothing. You're just stat building. And congratulations, that does nothing for you. Yeah, you can stat build and you'll be happy like I got my numbers. But if you're losing every game, what fucking difference does it make? You're still a loser. You're just the best guy on a loser team. And what you find with the best teams are the main guy who might carry 50% or take most of the shots, he'll realize, look, I don't need to take every shot. Let my influence be able to make the team better around me. Because if I can make my team members better around me, it takes my load off of me. And so I can go from that 50% workload down to a more manageable 35% workload and excel within this 35% workload. And that's what made Kevin Durant such a fucking monster in Golden State. What I always loved about the Golden State team, everybody bashes them, but what I loved was it was very selfless basketball. It was one of the most beautiful things of basketball to watch. And everybody used to shit on it. But I'm saying, when Kevin Durant came in there, he didn't come in there to be the guy to shoot 30 shots. He says, you know what? Instead of me shooting 30 shots a game like I was shooting Oklahoma City, I'm going to take my numbers down. I'll shoot 15 shots, but those 15 shots are going to be great shot selections, easy baskets, And it makes my role easier so I can excel. And what happened? They got fucking, what is it, 2 or 3 chips out of that shit? And that's what you have to see with your life. When you go to work with people who are masters, what your job is to do is to figure out where the master needs help. Because everybody needs help at some way. Like, it doesn't matter how great you are. If you can help fulfill the need where instead of that person doing 100% of workload, they can drop their number down to 80%. You're valuable. You're a valuable tool to that master. And then that master can pour more into you because now they have more energy in the reserve bank. So instead of them fucking being stressed out like, damn, I got to go pick this up. I got to do this, they now have the ability to focus on the most critical aspects that actually require their skill set. That's why Russell Westbrook, and I love using basketball because basketball is an excellent analogy to be able to watch because these guys play for long minutes of time. They have to play both ways, and it's very easy to manage numbers. Football is a little bit more difficult because there's a lot more intricacies in football, but basketball is very simple, and I love to use it as an analogy. Russell Westbrook, even though he was getting triple-doubles, statting all these numbers, his teams were suffering because he fucking took on like 80% of the workload. So everybody else is kind of standing around like, fuck, well, what do I do? Like, Russell's going to take every shot. And that's demoralizing. And that's one of the things you have to understand as a young person is find your role to be able to make the best player better. If you make the best player on your team better, you become valuable to that person. They want to keep you around. And the longer you stay around somebody who's very good at what they do, the more knowledge and information you take in. And as a result, you get better. And so eventually, that person goes from doing 80% of the workload to cutting back to 60, and you take on more responsibilities. And by you taking on more responsibilities, you now become more valuable. And eventually, you'll be able to go off on your own, or you can get more resources or value from said person because now they look at you like, damn, I really need this person. And that's one of the things I'm looking at as a business owner, as I'm looking to scale up my service business. Eventually, I'm going to have to start taking younger guys underneath my belt to be able to teach them so they can start fulfilling roles so I can take on the bigger jobs and worry about the more crucial part of jobs and be able to manage the overseeing thing. Because like right now, it's very difficult because I got to be my own salesperson. I got to find my own leads. I got to go do the work. And I got to be able to do quality control and get the reviews. So if I can figure out how to get somebody to do the parts that I don't necessarily want to do, where I can just focus on my particular aspect, I become more valuable. I make more money. As a result, it trickles down to everybody underneath me. And eventually, those guys that are underneath me will then eventually rise up and become other valuable team members. And then we can start to partner on an equal level ship where we can now be 2 guys focusing on the same goal, take in more resources, and bring up more young people around us. And that's how companies get built. That's how things get built as a man. You got to be able to operate with a team. Nobody wants a fucking idiot that just wants to be the guy that does everything. That just, I don't want to do it. I'm above that, blah, blah, blah. See, that's the shit that gets you fucking fired. That's the shit that gets you fucking in the same level and you never advance for the next 5 years. And that's why I'm very thankful for football and my ability when I was playing sports is because I understand how to fill gaps, how to fill roles. And like a good way to learn a lot of those things, if you guys never got a chance to play sports, is when you play pickup basketball. See, one of the things I love about pickup basketball is whoever's able to identify the team, figure out where they can be able to be helpful, is able to win the team. So like when I play pickup basketball, I don't want to pick up the 3 best scorers. I don't need 3 scorers for it. We're going to 15. What I prefer is we only need 2 guys who can really score, 1 guy who can ball handle, and 2 guys to do dirty work. And that way, the 2 guys who can do dirty work who are not very good at shooting are okay with not getting the ball all the time. Because there's only 1 ball and there's 5 guys. So that means 1 divided by 5. Let's see. Shit. That's like 15%, something like that. 15, 16, 17%. 20% actually. I take that back. 20%. So if only 20% of the people can have the ball at one time, and you got people who are very good at scoring who are going to probably take up 40%, the other 2 guys can't be scorers. It just doesn't work because now they're going to be lackadaisical and not want to play because they're not getting the ball. They're not going to do what they want to do. And so one of my specialties, one of my things I've learned throughout time is to figure out where I fit. So I'll play I don't mind playing defense and getting rebounds and just playing solid defense, making good passes if it means my team wins. But what I notice so often pickup basketball is somebody will take 5 scores and then their team gets wiped off the board, even though they have more better talent. But it's the congruency or the way the team functions as a whole. And if your team can't function as a whole, then they're no good. If you got 5 separate individuals trying to be their own guy, it's not going to work. And that's what you see in so many companies. That's what you see in so many just marriages. You see this in pretty much across the board in so many like team aspect things. This is where everybody's trying to be everything. No, separate the roles, play in your role, and when the time comes for you to play a bigger role, just be ready. And that's how the game of life works. And I hope you guys got a chance to see my Apex rules of life. I've been following these rules since the month of February, and I've really been liking it, man. I've been seeing a change in my body, my energy levels, my growth. And yeah, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And man, just keep on hustling, keep on going, keep grinding. It gets better with time. But understand, it's a longevity game. It's a marathon. You don't need to get it all today. You don't need to get it all tomorrow. You don't need to get it all next year. Just make sure the choices that you make today are going to benefit you 5 years from now. And if you can stay with that path, your life will be wonderful.